Hey guys, welcome back to Camille's Corner. So, a couple people asked me what I thought about the hosts of The Reel criticizing bloggers on YouTube, and I figured, you know what, this is actually a really good topic to talk about because if you've been around this sector of YouTube for the past year or so, then you'll understand exactly the point that they were trying to make. And this is one of those topics where I feel like I actually do have some level of expertise because I am a journalist in real life. I write for a reputable media company, I freelance for local and regional publications, and I have an actual journalism degree. And I've been in the field for 6 years, so this is not just me giving my opinion on an issue, this is me speaking based on my actual experience as both a mainstream journalist and as a blogger on YouTube. Okay, so I know y'all are probably hearing a dog barking in the background. That's not my dog, okay? I don't know who the fuck that dog belongs to. It's annoying, but bear with me. So, anyway, the hosts of The Reel, they said some things about bloggers lacking credibility and ruining people's lives with lies and so on. And I agree with some of what they said, but not all of it. So, before I get into my commentary, y'all listen to what they said.
Why are we so quick to believe sources?
Yeah. And why are we so quick to empower blogs and online news media that people start themselves without any credibility? So weird. It sucks. Like if reputable media can't even give the facts properly, what makes you believe that like a random blog on Instagram is telling the truth?
Right.
Like we watch these major reputable news outlets and we're like, that's correct. And sometimes their facts are off. We're looking at it like that is not correct.
Because people want to talk. People are just naturally nosy. People want to talk. The thing is with this situation, with the Colin Kaepernick situation, is that, and I've said this before, I think I said this last week, we don't know all the details. We don't know everything. And sometimes we don't know the details for our good. Jay-Z has never really, when he did speak, he spoke while he was in a news conference and people didn't like it. So now that he's not speaking, people don't like it. And sometimes you just got to let things work itself out for a reason.
What a crazy idea. What is it? Shouldn't it somewhat be illegal to be a source without them saying who you are? I feel like if you feel bold enough to speak up about it, let your name be known. Say who you are. Who is source? That seems so cowardly.
Well, you can hit the...
it's just cowardly.
You can hit the person that is reporting the source. Like if you feel like defamation of character or things like that, then you can go to the actual, say, the media outlet.
How can we do that? Because I feel like
you put a cease and desist.
I know, but I feel like I feel helpless, honestly. You go on YouTube, you see so many stories about each and every one of us. They're so far from the truth. But what really sucks is they've got like 1 million to 2 million views, and I feel like the more divisive, the more like devious it is, right? The more views they get. So how can these people who do this, how can they get some consequences?
Like
because they need to be held responsible because they're ruining some people's lives out there. And defamation of character.
They don't remember we have families.
We have lives.
We have lives.
And we have situations that affect our future. I remember when I was going through my divorce, it was insane to me that blogs were painting word by word scenarios that was actually adding fuel to the fire in which we were trying to put out. We were trying to move amicably in a way that would promote us to be happy. But when you hear and read things, you think that that person is doing a little trick on you, and then you have lawyers that are feeding things in your ears like, see, you got to do something. What are you going to do back? And it's so evil and disgusting that literally I have actually completely turned away from blogs and I've unfollowed, I re-corrected all of my algorithms so I don't even see any type of gossip or news, and I learned that you have an algorithm in your mind. When you click on something and when you deposit it, you will start to actually, your brain has this thing called RAS, and it actually plays over. So if you say to yourself like, I'm not good enough, you will see reasons why you're not good enough. Constantly. Every day. If you click on gossip, you will constantly see that fade of BS all the time. So you have to control your algorithm and control your actions to clean your mind of clutter.
I do want to say, I do think that there are some good blogs, and I think that there are some bad blogs. And I'm going to tell you why. I know I can only speak for, I think, people of color blogs. For a long time, we weren't allowed into mainstream white media. Like, we don't get picked up a lot. Like, shout out to people.com because y'all pick up Okay, magazine can be, you know what I mean? But
Alternative
it's
press is
like, we
another one I
do need
respect.
press. In order to keep our show on,
That's right.
we need press. So I can't dog all of the
of them,
blogs,
right.
but there are some blogs that's just ridiculous, and sometimes
They're negative.
you have to stand up and you have to say, okay, this is ridiculous.
Yes.
You know, and
Tell us who your sources are. That's all I'm saying.
But I don't
Tell
want
me
to
who
diss
the
all
source is.
blogs. There are some good blogs.
Now, I totally agree that some, and I have to stress the word some because it's not everybody, but some bloggers on YouTube give all bloggers a bad name. And I feel like that's why YouTube kind of falls short. I mean, this is a really great platform, okay? Don't get me wrong. I'm not bashing YouTube like that because I do appreciate that YouTube gives us regular people a voice and an opportunity to build something and make a living because there are bloggers who actually make a living on YouTube doing this. But I feel like it's not regulated enough because it's like anybody can just get on here and say anything and anything goes. And y'all, I mean, I do think YouTube and platforms like this, they're just as valuable as mainstream media. That's why I joined, because there are things that you just can't say and do in mainstream media. Like, I'm not allowed to put my opinions in my stories. I'm not allowed to be biased when I write mainstream news. But YouTube gives me an opportunity to just speak my mind, and I can say what I feel. And that's the value in this thing. But freedom of speech is not a blanket thing, and that's what I feel like some bloggers don't seem to understand. And that's why defamation laws exist. You just can't say whatever you want about people and present it as facts. And I mean, even though I come on here and I talk about celebrity trending topics and stuff, it's all my opinion at the end of the day. I don't claim to have exclusive inside sources or anything like that. I just talk about something that I find interesting and I give my opinion on it and I move along. But that's not enough for some bloggers. Some of them, they just take it to the extreme and they start making shit up, or they try to expose people or dox people and slander and defame everybody. And those are the blogs that do well because people love drama. And y'all, the audience, you all have to take some responsibility too because y'all love the drama. It's because of y'all that there's a market for that kind of thing. So I totally get what they were saying on the reel, especially what Tamera said about being helpless when she sees all these stories about herself that are not true, but she's not able to do anything about it. I agree with them on that point because it just amazes me that anybody can start a YouTube channel and they can start putting out these stories saying that this person has herpes and that person is cheating on their wife, and they don't have to provide any proof of that at all. Like, I can literally get up here today, y'all, and I can say, like, an anonymous source told me that Rihanna has syphilis, and I don't have to provide any proof of this at all. But that story will spread and other blogs might pick it up, and then next thing you know, Rihanna has syphilis is trending. So I would have basically just hurt someone's reputation with no proof whatsoever. So that's the point that I think they were trying to make on the reel when they said sources should come forward. Well, if there is an actual source, because y'all know some of these blogs, they ain't got no goddamn source. They just make shit up off the top of their head, or some random person sends them an email with information and they just run with it and they call that a source. Now, celebrities are in the public eye, okay? And they are going to be talked about, especially when they put their business out there. Like, I was watching this whole issue with Ray J and Princess Love today, and I really don't get why they put that on social media. Like, nobody needs to know about y'all's marital problems. But now that y'all put it out there for consumption, people are going to talk about it. So you can't get mad at that. But there are some blogs that they won't be satisfied with just talking about it. Okay, they want to make the story seem more than it is. So pretty soon you will see stories with blogs claiming that they have inside sources who told them Ray J had an affair with Beyonce or some shit, or Princess Love's baby is not his, or whatever else these people make up. And they never reveal these so-called sources because they claim they have to protect them. Now, this is where I'm a bit conflicted because bloggers like to say that they're journalists, but they only say that when it's convenient to them. because they don't want to be held to the same standard as a journalist. Because half the shit that I see bloggers getting away with on YouTube, you cannot do that as a mainstream journalist. Okay? Now, I don't agree with Jeannie Mai when she said that sources should be revealed, because in actual journalism, y'all, if somebody comes to you with a story and they don't want to be revealed as your source, you have a duty to protect them. And any journalist who reveals a source who doesn't want to be revealed, nobody will ever trust you again. You will instantly lose your credibility because you put your source in danger. And where I live, y'all, even a court can't compel a journalist to reveal their source. It's like you have to protect your source at all costs because nobody's going to come to you with a story again if you can't be trusted. But the difference between actual journalism and bloggers is that journalists don't rely on what a source says alone, y'all. First of all, we have to know who the source is. Even if the public doesn't know, I have to know. Because I have to be able to judge if this is a credible person who's giving me this information. So if I get an email, and y'all, this has actually happened, okay? If I get an email from somebody and they're just giving me information, and this information is juicy as hell, but they don't want to tell me who they are, then that's a red flag for me already. Now, I can still investigate the information and I can still try to pursue that tip on my own. And depending on what I'm able to find out, I can still run with that story. But what I'm not going to do is say, oh, well, let's just print this random email from this random stranger because it must be true, right? Absolutely not. But I see bloggers on here doing that all the time. Now, if the person identifies themselves to me, I still have to do my checks. Like, if this person is giving me information on, let's say, some big scandal at a hospital that they used to work at, I still have to check to make sure that this person actually did work there and that they are who they say they are. Like, I'm not just going to believe them because people lie. Duh. So once I make sure that this person is who they say they are, I'm still not just going to run with the story, okay? I'm still going to question other people who worked there to see if they can back up what this person is saying. I'm going to talk to the hospital officials. I'm going to explore all sides because for all you know, this person could be giving me this information because they got fired from the hospital and they're just mad and they want to ruin the hospital's reputation or something. So I have a responsibility to get all sides of the story. That's how real journalism works. Now, we don't always get it right, okay? We make mistakes, we get shit wrong too. And when that happens, you just apologize. If it's online, you remove that story. And if it's in like a print newspaper, you can't really remove that. So you print a retraction. But a lot of bloggers don't even do that. They want to be respected as journalists, but when they get things wrong, they leave their videos up because, like one blogger said, I was listening to this blogger some time ago. She put up a video. After she did the video, she realized that the information in it was wrong. But instead of taking down the video, she said she spent a lot of time editing it. So she wanted to collect the revenue from that video before she took it down. Even if it's contributing to spreading wrong information, she was not going to remove it until she collected money from it. That's what she said. And actually, that video she was talking about is still up to this day, I believe. She never took it down, although she admitted the information was wrong, but she never took it down. So people are still able to look up that video and come across it, and they will believe that information in it because they might not see the other video where she admitted that it was wrong. So a lot of these bloggers, y'all, all they care about is money, and they don't care about the harm that they're causing. And the more sensational the story is, the more views it will get and the more money they will make. That's what this is all about. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't mainstream media companies who just care about money too and they have their own agendas, because some mainstream media companies, they deliberately put out information just to be sensational. I've seen that. But if we're talking about proper journalism here, we can't get away with things that YouTube bloggers get away with. Like, we have rules and guidelines to follow. So I think if bloggers expect to be respected as journalists, then they should also have rules and guidelines to follow. Now, I'm not saying that YouTubers should be censored, okay? Because being able to come on here and just give your opinions on things, that's what makes YouTube fun. And that's exactly what the hosts on The Real do. They're not better than me because they're gossiping too. They're just doing it on television. So you can't stop people from doing commentary. And y'all, if YouTube took that away, I'm telling y'all right now, I'm deleting my channel, okay? Just throw the whole channel away. I'm not even kidding. And I'm not even saying that YouTubers shouldn't be allowed to expose celebrities. If that's your thing, go for it, because there's a market for that. And I like a good celebrity exposed story my damn self. But what I'm saying is, you should not be allowed to hide behind a non-existent source. And you should not be able to just come on here and say some random person emailed you this information, so it must be true. Like, if you're dealing with something that could literally ruin somebody's life, the least you could do is make sure your information is accurate. And y'all, I'm not gonna put out information to ruin anybody's life, even if it's true. But some people find that entertaining. So if you're gonna do it, at least do your due diligence, that's all. And if you put out a story and you fully believe it's true, and then you find out it isn't, just take it down and apologize. That's what makes you credible. Now, one thing I absolutely did not agree with that they said was that you can't trust a person who just starts up a YouTube channel on their own. Like, I mean, you don't need to be attached to a media company to have credibility, you know. And I always use Lovely Tea as an example because I've been watching that heifer for years, okay? And I know when I watch a Lovely Tea breakdown, I'm getting all the facts mixed in with a little bit of her opinion and a little bit of humor. But she's not out here selling me shit and telling me it's sugar, so I do believe she's credible as a blogger. Bloggers can be credible. And another example that I always use is this incident where I live, y'all. There was a blogger who exposed a government official for misusing public funds. She was just a blogger. She was not attached to any mainstream media company. But y'all, her story was so well written and so well researched. And she came with receipts. I know y'all love that word, receipts. Well, this bitch had literal receipts showing what he bought, the dates he bought it, how much money he spent. And what I like about the story was that even though she had anonymous sources in her story, she didn't rely on that alone. She did her own research to verify that what they were telling her was true. And y'all, that story from a blogger was picked up by every major news station in this country. It was on the front page of all the newspapers. And it caused an investigation to be launched. That was a huge story, and that was broken by a blogger. So I don't like that the hosts on The Real were acting like it's impossible for bloggers to be accurate and have integrity. Now, do I think I'm credible? As a journalist in the real world, absolutely. But as a random person just talking shit on the internet, that's up to y'all to decide. And you know what? I think shows like The Real, they are a little bit afraid of competition as well, because at the end of the day, they're bloggers too, okay? They're just glorified bloggers. They get up there and they gossip and talk shit just like the rest of us. They just have a company backing them. But them being on TV doesn't mean their opinions are worth more than ours. And like I said, I work in mainstream media, and I can admit that competition from social media is a big issue for us, okay? People are going to social media for news. They don't need to rely on mainstream media anymore. Now, me personally, y'all, I don't know about y'all, but I don't go to social media for hard news, okay? I just don't. That's just me. I come to social media for entertainment. If I want news that I can trust, I will go read a newspaper. So I don't think social media will ever replace mainstream media because, y'all, I can't tell y'all how many stories I have to write correcting fake news that people put online. Social media will just never be fully credible, and there will always be a need for real, reputable journalists. At least I hope so, because this fucking degree was expensive to get, okay? And I ain't got no other skills. So I hope people are gonna need me for a long time to come. But seriously, y'all, I really agree with them when they said bloggers need to be penalized for spreading lies for profit. But the thing is, when YouTube finally wakes up and decides to crack down on it, the good, credible bloggers are going to be affected too. And that's the sad part, because it's like the shitty ones who just make shit up and be sensational all the time, they're ruining it for everybody else. So I really hope that the good, credible bloggers have a backup plan, because if and when YouTube cracks down on this whole commentary sector, a lot of bloggers who rely on this as their only source of income, they're gonna have to figure out how else to pay their rent. Because I feel like changes are coming, because a lot of celebrities, they're speaking out and they're bringing lawsuits for defamation against YouTubers, and they're using their platforms to call for penalties for YouTubers. So YouTube will have to take notice eventually. And I feel like they're already taking notice because I realize a lot of these commentary type videos are demonetized, okay? Like 4 out of every 5 videos I upload are demonetized instantly. I won't be shocked if this one is demonetized too. Which is really weird because I don't even say anything extreme. I just give my opinions. But the bloggers who are putting STDs on people and quoting non-existent sources and shit, their videos are monetized. So YouTube is a whole mess, y'all. And I swear if I didn't actually like being on here and interacting with people, I'd just give up already because it's not profitable to me. Anyway, I do feel like YouTube is noticing what is happening and changes are going to happen and changes need to happen. I just feel bad for the good bloggers who are going to get caught up in it too because of the ones who have no integrity at all. Anyway, let me stop ranting now because as y'all can tell, I'm very passionate about this topic because I experience it from both sides and I don't want to go on and on and on. So let me just stop here and y'all tell me what you think about this whole situation and do you agree with what they said on The Reel? Let me know in the comments. Bye guys and thanks for watching.